Hey you guys, how's it going? So I finished up a whole bunch of journals that I've been working on, over the last few months, and just kind of had these set aside because they were kind of special to me, and I was just waiting until I had all the right ephemera and inspiration to get them done. Um, so there's five of them all together. Um, they're all a little bit different sizes, sort of. I guess these three are about the same size, although this one is much thicker. I got a little like mini here, and then one kind of medium size, I guess, but it's super fat and just packed full of goodness. So I'm gonna do a flip through on each of them. This may wind up being a somewhat long video, but I'm okay with that if you're okay with that. And they'll all be listed in my shop probably within the next couple of hours. I'll try to get them up by, let's say, 10 p.m. Pacific time. That's if my timing works out right. Okay. Um, so the first one is it was a hymnal, and it was a lot thinner than this. I rebuilt the spine with canvas, and then the canvas is actually coated with beeswax after I attached it to the covers. So yeah, I mean this book was probably only about that thick when I first got it. So it's 4 signatures. They're stitched in with baker's twine. Um, and then, I haven't treated the cover on any of these journals with anything really. They're basically, they've gotten a once over with baby wipe, and they're cleaned, and you know, they were in really good shape. So I wasn't too concerned about embellishing the covers. And I really like to do that. I like to preserve the the cover. So here, let me move these out of the way. All right, I have journals like falling in on me. Okay, so this is the Joy to the World. I attached one of these little charms that I made recently. It's kind of like just an image out of a book on some chipboard with a piece of ball chain through a pretty large eyelet there. I put another eyelet on the back bottom corner on each of these too, in case you wanted to add more, charms or embellishments. So you can see there's quite a few pages in this book, and each signature, is filled with, ephemera, lots of coffee dyed paper, paper flowers, and the usual map pages. Here's some braille. This is another one of those images that I got out of a book and then attached it to some heavy craft cardstock and then coated it with triple thick. So it just, I don't know, I just really love the images out of that book. So I wanted to try to preserve them and use them. So yeah, coffee dyed tags and some stamped stuff. These little dividers. I love those little dividers. Book pages. This is a page from the Garden Flowers in Color. This is just a little piece from some sheet music right here. Little pockets. Some, advertising out of the Ladies' Home Journal. This is that, I think it was a 1947 Ladies' Home Journal. Lots of book pages from the Flow book. I think it was the 3rd edition. I'm just going to kind of flip through a little bit quickly. I'm not going to take everything out of each pocket. This is some, I don't know what kind of paper that is, but it's super thin. I think it's tracing paper. Lots of like flip outs and stuff. This is a really, really old atlas that I have. Some More ephemera. This is like a electric bill and some advertising. Just a little tuck there. This is one of those images that it's coated with the triple thick. I didn't, you know, stuff the pockets really super full because, you know, I didn't want it to be extremely thick. You know, and that means there's lots of room for you to add a bunch of your own stuff too. So this is a postcard, a vintage postcard. This is a little tag that I made with flower image. Lots and lots of pages in this book. Very much geared towards somebody who is into journaling and, you know, writing. Lots of little printed images, and this is from the card catalog. Put more postcards, some punched butterflies. I don't know how many pages are in this book, but and I don't usually count them. I kind of estimate, you know, in my listings how many pages there are. I mean, does it really matter if it's 140 or 150? You know, I don't know. I'm just saying. So that's the end of the first signature. There's a little booklet in here. This is from the Flow book. And I use quite a few of those card catalog cards in these journals. I have a whole bunch of them. I need to use them. Lots of room for, you know, you to add your own goodies in here too, you know. Book pages, some really old like business cards. It's like from a carpenter, you know. Some little paper flowers here and there. All of these journals, I think, are mainly about the, you know, not so much the inserts or what I've added to the book pages, but the pages themselves, because I think that they're really interesting, you know. This is from a sewing book. And I think that that's really important, just, you know, to kind of focus on the, you know, the pages themselves too, rather than just all your fancy pockets and all that stuff all the time, you know. I do, okay, now, I do enjoy making pockets and tuck spots and that kind of stuff, but I tend to not like go overboard with that, because I like the pages of the book to kind of speak for themselves too. I'd like to make some junk journals that don't even have any tag, and I've made a few, but not a lot. But I want to make some that actually don't even have pockets and that kind of stuff, but only focus on the pages that I use. You know, I think that it's kind of cool. Lots of coffee dyed pattern paper in here, and you know, like copy paper. This is an old like advertising like card, you know, that you would find on the counter at the shop where you go to get your oil changed. This is some sheet music. And I love it when there's like old Scotch tape on stuff, you know. I wish they could replicate that. And then just some, you know, coffee dyed paper and some tags and stuff in the back. So, and then this is just a piece of vintage silk as the closure with one of those hitch posts that I made. Okay, so the next one is the aircraft maintenance book. I showed this on my live stream the other day, and this has got to be one of my most favorite vintage books that I've ever had, because I love the paper that came out of this book. And I did use some of it in the book, so you'll get to, have some of it too. Again, one of those little tags made out of a book image. This is stitched together with waxed cotton in 2 signatures. One second. I knew I should have silenced my phone. So rude, huh? Okay. So this has an envelope on the front cover with some, some journaling cards inside the envelope. Just tucks underneath this little image, and you could put some more stuff inside there, I guess. And then some tags inserted behind the envelope. Whoops, let me make sure I'm in frame, sorry. And some sheet music. And I didn't want to put anything on this page because I just think it's really pretty by itself. Some coffee dyed book pages. Wax paper bags. This is some stationery, some old really cool paper that I coffee dyed. And there's lots of like vintage postcards and stuff like that in all of the pockets. Some onion skin typing paper. Lots of book pages and ephemera in all of these. Some vintage playing cards. This is just like a little booklet that I made out of, book pages and ephemera and that kind of thing, and it just clips onto this page. And this is actually a glassine bag that I forgot to put a card in. Let me get something in there real quick. Let's put a postcard in there. There. Coffee dyed. Ledger paper. This is a pocket, and this is a page of the aircraft maintenance book right here. And then some glassine envelopes filled with ephemera and just paper clipped onto the pages. I put a few of those in here. So like I said, not a ton of pockets, really, just a really nice variety of different types of pages and stuff. So some tags that I made with images from the Garden Flowers book. I still have 2 more I can use up. This is like a math book. There's another one of those cards. And some vintage advertising. Some onion skin paper. This is a little bit thicker than the other stuff. There's another envelope with the ephemera inside it. And this is the center of the book. This envelope is filled with different pieces of ephemera, some receipts, and just, random stuff. And then another one of those little book page cards on there. Lots going on in here. And I don't know, I just really love the paper, I love the imagery and the text and the textures, and I like to alternate like some really super thin paper with a heavier paper, and just a lot of different variety and that kind of thing. Like this is just like a catalog of, different hardware for cabinets and stuff. This is like a pocket, just a little thin pocket right there, and then this kind of tips out like that. Some tags that I made quite a while ago. This is 2 cards. Some more of those like kind of oversized shipping tags and some advertising. Another one. I make so many mini journals that I don't get to use my larger tags that much, you know. A glassine bag with some coffee dyed note paper in there. And I think it's interesting to go through a junk journal and just try to like figure out what did that come from, you know, like what was that? You know, this was a pamphlet of some sort. I don't remember. Some bridge score sheets, coffee dyed, you know, journaling cards and paper. I know I'm going super fast, but you know, really this is just to give you guys an idea of what's in there, you know. Obviously, when you purchase a book, you're going to look at it in a lot more detail, you know. So this is another envelope filled with ephemera, paper clipped on there with an old electric bill. Okay, and then here's another one of those cards that, you know, opens up. So, all right. So that's the second one. And then I'll go ahead and do this little baby one. And then I think I might split the last two into another video. So we'll do this one and then I'll let it go. So this is a just like a Shakespeare book. I think it was probably a textbook in school, since it's got that number on there. I'm thinking it was probably assigned by a teacher, you know, to a student or something like that. So I did another one of those little tags with the ball chain. So I had this pack of paper that was all blue and white, and so I just primarily did all of the tags, all the inserts are that blue and white paper stack, and then I also used some images from a coloring book that were like floral kind of images. Okay, so all of the tags are that blue and white paper stack, except for the coloring pages. And if I used something else, I tried to stay in that blue and white theme. So this is really a writing journal too, you know. Not a whole lot of tags. Well, okay, I say that, but I guess there are. It's just not overly embellished. You know what I mean? I did do some like fabric and lace tabs, but not overly embellished. And I guess, you know, I don't really overly embellish anything, but I just wanted to point that out. Lots of coffee dyed paper, little tiny pockets here and there. It's just kind of understated, you know what I mean? There's the center of the book. I love this map. It's my favorite map of all time ever. There's a little tuck here and then a pocket. And then there's a couple tags in the pocket on this side. This is a stamp, vintage like stamp catalog. More tags in a pocket. Some book pages. A guest check there in the center. Some grid paper. Some coffee dyed coloring book paper there. I love using coloring book paper in my journals. I have so many coloring books, and every once in a while I'll just go through them and, you know, determine whether, oh, this is a plug from the crocodile. I'll go through my coloring books and determine which ones I'm ever going to use, and the ones that I'm not going to use, I'll just rip them apart and coffee dye all the paper. So this is just a whole bunch of little tags in this little, I guess, pocket on the back. There's like 1, 2, 3. There's like 5 pockets here, and so there's just a whole bunch of little tags in those pockets. So, and then the closure. So there's an eyelet on the back of this one too, so you could add some more, you know, charms and stuff like that. And then the closure is just a hair tie on a hitch post. So, okay, so that's those 3, and then I'll go ahead and upload this one, and then I'll make another video for the literature book and the other literature book. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you very soon, and I love you. Bye.